Hello and welcome to the Shared Table with Beer Moretti. My name is Owen Doherty and I'll be your host for this evening. The Shared Table is all about good company, good food, and of course, great beer around the table. We do have a genuinely amazing guest. I've been a fan of this man for years, Patrick Kielty.
I haven't actually told this story in public before, but I mean, we're all friends, so this is proper sharing.
Hey!
Oh, wow.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, sweet.
Wow, thank you very much. That looks great.
That's all for you. Two straws.
Yeah. No, hang on. No, let me. No, let me.
He's a growing boy. He needs that.
Are you sure? Yeah. Do you want a wee bit of sauce with that? Here, no, hang on. Here, let me search it. So, like my mum, brilliant baker, very plain cook, right? Like it's not great. So whenever you go into, Italian restaurants, and they go, "Here you go, just a lacking your mama make," and I go, "No, please, not like my mama makes. Can we have it like what your mama makes?" Yeah.
You've been living in LA for a couple of years.
Yeah, we were there for just as long as an Irishman with this skin colour and could put up.
Like, did people recognize you basically when you're out and about in Beverly Hills?
Are you mental? I mean, like, absolutely not. Like, my wife, she was on season 16 of this show, which went out all across America. So I would go to do red carpets with her. Like, people thought I was like a competition winner. Like, it was that thing of, Jesus bless. Like, she's picked a fan who hasn't long to go, and there he is. It was always one of those things where, you'd be trying to do, the photograph like that, and then they'd be calling your name, and they'd go, Patrick, and you'd be thinking, oh, geez, they know who I am too. They go, Patrick, can you just move out of the way? We want to get a shot at Cat on our own. So you'd just be like standing across like this. It was a funny life, like going to big events that clearly I couldn't have got to. But then it sort of backfired one night. There was a girl that worked on Cat's show, and she's called Jenna. And then the music started, starting to, throw a few shapes and do a bit of dad dancing. So this other guy, he comes in, and so the music going, and he starts pulling a few moves, and I start pulling a few moves, and then we're sort of in the middle of the floor having this dance-off, and Cat pulls me aside and goes, "You donut, would you get back in here?" I says, what's the problem? And that's Jenna's husband. I said, yeah, it's really nice, great crack. We're just having it. I said, that's Channing Tatum. That's Magic Mike. You're having a dance-off with Magic Mike. Would you get your arse? But I didn't even know who Magic Mike was. I was going, yeah, he's a magic fella altogether. Just disaster.
When you and Kat were getting married, you decided to go to Italy. And what was the thinking behind that?
We wanted to be married. We didn't really want to get married, so we just thought maybe if we just headed off somewhere. So then, her brother, her family, my family. So it felt, a wee bit like this. Everybody just sort of sat around. We sat in the middle.
In terms of the differences between Italian weddings and Irish weddings, like was there rock the boat at 2 a.m. or I don't know what the Italian song equivalent is. Do you put ties around the head? Is that not a good fashion choice? You
essentially have, it's Rome, okay? So like we take this villa outside Rome, the sun's going down, you've got this terrace, you've got these magnificently cultured, well-dressed Italians, bringing a bit of style and class to the event. Then County Down and the West Midlands turn up. And they hadn't really met much before we got married. In the UN when they all have to put on the headphones for the translators. So, you had people from County Down, like, my brother with a few beers and him trying to talk to Kat's dad. Well, Howard, how you getting on? You're looking awful well. And he's like, oh no, it should. So essentially, the only people that could be understood at our wedding were the Italians.
The Italians were translating.
Yeah, exactly.
The middle. The Italians were good, yeah. I think some of these guys are speaking English, but I'm not sure who. Yeah.
Obviously, comedy. You've done a bit of comedy. But obviously, you getting your start back up in Belfast. Back then, did you feel like that you needed kind of start pushing the boundaries to be of comedy in general?
It's a funny thing, whenever you're... the best comedy's about what you grow up with and if people can relate to it. And so when you're up there at the time, I didn't realize we were living through something sort of weird and extraordinary. So you'd just be getting up and you'd be doing jokes about what the world looked like, what your world looked like, and it just so happened that you were living in a crazy world. Looking back on it the way Lisa McGee does so brilliantly for Dairy Girls, you realise that it's kind of batshit crazy. The braver your opening line, the better. You know, there was a guy, Bob Mills, I remember Bob was on, he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know where I stand on the United Islands." He said, "I believe in a United Island." This is Belfast, this is 1992. And he goes, "Yes, I think we should send the paras back into the south and take the whole lot back." Right? Now, you need to have some chops, right, to open with that line. And like at that point, even the Catholics going, okay. We'll give you that.
Fair play. That's the bravery we're looking for.
So the braver you were,
yeah,
the more response you got. So you kind of were nearly emboldened every week to try to go a wee bit further. Like if you look at it, there was a real age of stand-ups. Like whenever I was coming through, I remember, you know, my first TV appearance on the Late Late Show. And you Dylan Moran was coming through, and then you had Dara coming through, and you had Ardle coming through, and Tommy Tiernan, and there was like a real sort of raft of stand-up was the thing, and there was for a while people were talking about stand-up being the new rock and roll. And
in terms of the comedy and growing up and even influencing you now today, I think you were saying Billy Connolly's like, is he your be-all and end-all?
Oh my God, I mean, Billy Connolly was just... There's very few comedians, you know, that you could sit and sort of watch with your dad. You know, Billy's doing, you know, his shampoo routine. He's going, "You know, what are these shampoos called? Jojoba! What the fuck is a jojoba? In Glasgow, that used to be the month before November." and like, to be able to sit there and sort of to listen to that, you know, with your dad, it's like, looking back on that now, that's a special memory. I was lucky enough to meet Billy Connolly, and I went to introduce myself. And he says, "You don't need to introduce yourself to me. I know who you are," right? And I was 14. I was back in the car again, you know. So I was just like jelly. Probably the best gig I ever did in my life was I was lucky enough to host Special Olympics, the opening ceremony in Croke Park. Nelson Mandela was there, and Muhammad Ali was there. And none of those people, I wasn't starstruck with any of them. But Billy Connolly was just, you know, different gravy for me.
It was like all those leaders, Muhammad Ali, Nelson Mandela, John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah. 3 inspirational leaders there.
There was really weird stuff that was happening. Muhammad Ali's manager rang me the night after. "Patrick, are you still on to come and see Muhammad?" I'm like trying to piece together the night. I'm going, yeah, I am, yeah. Put the phone down. I'm going, so how to get to the Berkeley Court? And you go up in the lift, and then you're in this room, and I'm thinking, this is going to be like a meet and greet, you know, like One Direction, and you're going to be standing there with 30 people. And Muhammad Ali's there, and his wife's there, and there's like 2 more people in the room. You know, and he hugged me in, and he went, "You did a good job last night." And you're like, oh my God, you want to see some magic? And so he gets the remote control of the TV, and he puts it on the coffee table, and he gets everybody to hold hands, and there's about 8 of us. And he's going, "Levitate, concentrate, levitate." And he's getting us all like to shake, and he's going like, everybody hold hands like this, right? So if you all hold hands around the table, so you go, "Levitate, concentrate, right? And we're all doing this, and he's got us doing it for 2 or 3 minutes, and we're convincing that Muhammad Ali is going to actually make this remote control levitate. And he goes, "Don't be fools, no such thing as magic, only magic are these." I mean, it was like just...
Obviously, you mentioned yourself and Kat out in Beverly Hills and the red carpet and your celebrity best friends and all that kind of stuff. But does Kat realise the significance of being married to an All-Ireland medal winner?
I kind of think that's what wooed her in the end, really. It's very, very weird whenever you're married to somebody who has no concept of what you were basically reared on for your entire life. I mean, the medal was... She found the medal one day, and she went, "I'm just going to throw a few things out here. What are these things here? Is this jewellery. I don't know, like, whether she thought I was sort of, like, pimping my ride with, like, an All-Ireland minor medal on the chain. But, so I sort of had to explain to her, you know, oh no, that's my All-Ireland medal. And it's like, so are you keeping it or are you not?
Are we throwing it out or not? What are we doing here? Just answer me.
Yeah, so the pitch in Dundrum is named after my dad. So it's Park Sean in Kielty, so Kielty Park. We got a few quid and got our floodlights up there last year. The eldest fella, he went down and, you know, he was there and he saw the lights. And so he goes, Dad, this is amazing. It never gets dark at Kielty Park, right?
Amazing.
And you're going, write that down, write that down. That's great, that's great. So they're running around with these two Dundrum tops on them. They were drowning in them, you know, but like the 3-year-old, I'm proud as punching him out in the ball and everything's great. But Harry Kane's wife would be friendly with, you know, Kat. And the New England strip comes out. So these two England strips land into the house, right? Okay, with Kane, you know, on the back, and you know the full thing, and you know, Kat doesn't, you know, couldn't care less about an All-Ireland. She goes, "Oh my God, Harry Kane, boys, the captain of England, he's got you these two tops." I go, yeah, it's great. It's great. They look really, really well under the Dundrum tops. You know, I have to say they did wear them, you know, at least once or twice until they got lost.
Mysteriously.
I don't know where they ended up, but as I say, we got a couple of blocks on the fire that weekend. And
It's one of those word association games. So we just need to imagine there's tense music on here. There's a clock timer. So I'm going to give you a word and you just need to say the first word that comes into your head as well. So we'll go through these. Imagine the tense music. There's a countdown timer on there somewhere as well. So we're against the clock. Michael D. Higgins.
Legend.
Billy Connolly.
Hero.
Cat.
Boss.
Love Island.
Fantastic.
Italy.
Married.
Family.
Everything.
Brexit.
Terrible.
Will Smith.
Please don't hit me.
Dairy Girls.
Legendary.
Dinner.
Amazing.
Cork.
Home.
Oh, yeah, it's soft, eh? Roy Keane. Go on.
Can I tell my Keno story?
Do you have a Keenum story?
Oh yeah, so I'm...
A story for every word.
So Keno has played in Soccer Aid. I was lucky enough to play in a few of these matches, right? And what you have to realise is, like, this is a game of numpties playing for charity. Normally the way they do in these matches, they put in the decent keeper for the first half, keep it tight, and then they throw the numpty in for the second half and get a few goals and, you know, people watch. So I said to Gordon Strachan, I says, am I on first half or second half? He goes, no, you're on the whole match. I says, it's celebrity keepers for the whole match. I says, who's doing goals for Celtic? He goes, Paki Bona. I said, hang on here. I said, I'm the Man United goalkeeper for the whole match. And I'm just imagining the terror of this. And Keno just turns around and goes, I just thought, like, a man like you, a Man United fan, would, like, you'd be delighted with that. Like, Pat, I tell you what, if you don't fancy it, you can just go home. A charity match. A charity match. Saying to me, if you don't fancy it, you can just jog on. So, I mean, Keno, the best.
The best. You know, we've talked through so many different amazing parts of your life, so thank you genuinely for sharing all those different elements. But for you personally, like the legacy that you would like to leave, but is there something in particular that is quite special for you, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, when you look back at, like, it's only when you start, you know, telling the stories and you know, I would say as long as people remember me as Jack Kielty's son, I'll be happy enough. Well,
We've one final question.
Oh, wow.
I'm just
Okay, here
getting
we go.
here, if that's all right.
Yeah.
So, for you, Paddy, what are the simple pleasures in life?
So, For the last 3 weeks, my wife has been working in Los Angeles. It's been Easter holidays. I've been looking after 2 boys under 5 on my own. The simple pleasure is to sit here at this table in the middle of Cork with this beer in my hand. And listen, what's that sound? Absolutely nothing!
Hey! Everybody, if you'd like to raise your glasses and join me in a proper Italian now, like it's salute!
Salute!